ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಶುಭ ಸಂಜೆ. ಗುಡಿಯ ಸಂಭ್ರಮ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ದೇವಾಲಯಗಳ ಉತ್ಸವ 2016ನೇ ಸಾಲಿನ ಈ 5ನೇ ವಾರಾಂತ್ಯವು ಕೋರಮಂಗಲದ ಶ್ರೀ ಪ್ರಸನ್ನ ಗಣಪತಿ ದೇವಾಲಯದ ಆವರಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಯೋಜಿಸಲಾಗುತ್ತಿದೆ. ಇದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಆಗಮಿಸಿರುವ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಹೃದಯಪೂರ್ವಕ ಸುಸ್ವಾಗತ. ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನದ ಅರ್ಚಕರಿಂದ ವೇದಗೋಷ್ಠಿ, ಅದರೊಂದಿಗೆ ದೀಪವನ್ನು ಬೆಳಗಿಸುತ್ತಾ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಪ್ರಾರಂಭಿಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದೇವೆ.
ಓಂ ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರುಭ್ಯೋ ನಮಃ. ಹರಿ ಓಂ. ಶನ್ನೋ ಮಿತ್ರಃ ಶಂ ವರುಣಃ ಶನ್ನೋ ಭವತ್ವರ್ಯಮ ಶನ್ನ ಇಂದ್ರೋ ಬೃಹಸ್ಪತಿಃ ಶನ್ನೋ ವಿಷ್ಣುರುರುಕ್ರಮಃ. ನಮೋ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣೇ ನಮಸ್ತೆ ವಾಯೋ ತ್ವಮೇವ ಪ್ರತ್ಯಕ್ಷಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾಸಿ ತ್ವಮೇವ ಪ್ರತ್ಯಕ್ಷಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವದಿಷ್ಯಾಮಿ ಋತಂ ವದಿಷ್ಯಾಮಿ ಸತ್ಯಂ ವದಿಷ್ಯಾಮಿ ತನ್ಮಾಮವತು ತದ್ವಕ್ತಾರಮವತು ಅವತು ಮಾಂ ಅವತು ವಕ್ತಾರಂ. ಓಂ ಶಾಂತಿ ಶಾಂತಿ ಶಾಂತಿ. ಓಂ ಭದ್ರಂ ಕರ್ಣೇಭಿಃ ಶೃಣುಯಾಮ ದೇವಾಃ ಭದ್ರಂ ಪಶ್ಯೇಮಾಕ್ಷಭಿರ್ಯಜತ್ರಾಃ ಸ್ಥಿರೈರಂಗೈಸ್ತುಷ್ಟುವಾಗುಂಸಸ್ತನೂಭಿಃ ವ್ಯಶೇಮ ದೇವಹಿತಂ ಯದಾಯುಃ. ಸ್ವಸ್ತಿ ನ ಇಂದ್ರೋ ವೃद्धಶ್ರವಾಃ ಸ್ವಸ್ತಿ ನಃ पूषा ವಿಶ್ವವೇದಾಃ ಸ್ವಸ್ತಿ ನಸ್ತಾರ್ಕ್ಷ್ಯೋ ಅರಿಷ್ಟನೇಮಿಃ ಸ್ವಸ್ತಿ ನೋ ಬೃಹಸ್ಪತಿರ್ದಧಾತು. ಓಂ ಶಾಂತಿ ಶಾಂತಿ ಶಾಂತಿ. ತನ್ಮಾಮವತು ತದ್ವಕ್ತಾರಮವತು ಅವತು ಮಾಂ ಅವತು ವಕ್ತಾರಂ. ಓಂ ಶಾಂತಿ ಶಾಂತಿ ಶಾಂತಿ. ಓಂ ಮೇಧಾದೇವೇ ಜುಷಮಾನಾ ನ ಆಗಾದ್ವಿಶ್ವಾಚಿ ಸುಮನಸ್ಯಮಾನಾ ತ್ವಯಾ ಜುಷ್ಟಾನುತಮಾನಾ ದುರುಕ್ತಾನ್ ಬೃಹದ್ವದೇಮ ವಿದಥೆ ಸುವೀರಾಃ. ತ್ವಯಾ ಜುಷ್ಟಋಷಿರ್ಭವತಿ ದೇವಿ ತ್ವಯಾ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಗತಃ ಶ್ರೀರುತತ್ವಯಾ. ತ್ವಯಾ ಜುಷ್ಟಶ್ಚಿತ್ರಂ ವಿಂದತೆ ವಸುಸಾನೋ ಜುಷಸ್ವದ್ರವಿಣೋ ನ ಮೇಧೆ. ಮೇಧಾಂ ಇಂದ್ರೋ ದದಾತು ಮೇಧಾಂ ದೇವಿ ಸರಸ್ವತಿ. ಮೇಧಾಂ ಮೇ ಅಶ್ವಿನಾ ಉಭಾವಾ ದತ್ತಾಂ ಮುಷ್ಕರಸ್ರಜ. ಅಪ್ಸರಾಸು ಚ ಯಾ ಮೇಧಾ ಗಂಧರ್ವೇಷು ಚ ಯನ್ಮನಃ. ದೈವೀ ಮೇಧಾ ಸರಸ್ವತಿ ಸಾ ಮಾಂ ಮೇಧಾ ಸುರಭಿರ್ಜುಷತಗ್ಗು ಸ್ವಾಹಾ. ಆಮಾ ಆಂ ಮೇಧಾ ಸುರಭಿರ್ವಿಶ್ವರೂಪಾ ಹಿರಣ್ಯವರ್ಣಾ ಜಗತೆ ಜಗಮ್ಯ. ಊರ್ಜಸ್ವತೆ ಪಯಸಾ ಪಿನ್ವಮಾನಾ ಸಾ ಮಾಂ ಮೇಧಾ ಸುಪ್ರತೀಕಾಜುಷಂತಾಂ. ಮಯಿ ಮೇಧಾಂ ಮಯಿ ಪ್ರಜಾಂ ಮಯಿ ಅಗ್ನಿಸ್ತೇಜೋ ದದಾತು. ಮಯಿ ಮೇಧಾಂ ಮಯಿ ಪ್ರಜಾಂ ಮಯೀಂದ್ರ ಇಂದ್ರಿಯಂ ದದಾತು. ಮಯಿ ಮೇಧಾಂ ಮಯಿ ಪ್ರಜಾಂ ಮಯಿ ಸೂರ್ಯೋ ಭ್ರಾಜೋ ದದಾತು. ಓಂ ಶಾಂತಿ ಶಾಂತಿ ಶಾಂತಿ. ಹರಿ ಓಂ.
ವೇದ ಪಠನದಿಂದ ಈ ಸುಂದರ ಸಂಜೆಯನ್ನು ಪ್ರಾರಂಭಿಸುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಈ ಆವರಣವನ್ನು ಒಂದು ದೈವಿಕ ಸ್ಥಳವನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾರ್ಪಾಡು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನದ ಅರ್ಚಕದವರಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಹೃದಯಪೂರ್ವಕ ವಂದನೆಗಳು. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹೆರಿಟೇಜ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಪರವಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ನೆನಪಿನ ಕಾಣಿಕೆ. ಈ ಸಂಜೆಯ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಮೊದಲಿಗೆ ಪೃಥ್ವಿಕಥ ಇದನ್ನು ನಮ್ಮೊಂದಿಗೆ ಹಂಚಿಕೊಳ್ಳಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಶ್ರೀ ರಾಹುಲ್ ಗೋಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಇವರು ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಕೃಷಿ ಮಂತ್ರಾಲಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾರ್ಯವನ್ನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತಾ ಸಲಹೆಗಾರರಾಗಿ ತಮ್ಮ ಸೇವೆಯನ್ನು ಸಲ್ಲಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈಗ ಪ್ರಸ್ತುತ ಪರಿಸರ ಮಂತ್ರಾಲಯದಲ್ಲೂ ಸಹ ಸಲಹೆಗಾರರಾಗಿ ಕಾರ್ಯವನ್ನು ನಿರ್ವಹಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯುನೆಸ್ಕೋ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯೊಡನೆ ಸಾಂಪ್ರದಾಯಿಕ ಭೂಜ್ಞಾನ ಆಧಾರಿತ ವಿಷಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಹ ಅವರು ಕಾರ್ಯವನ್ನು ನೆರವೇರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇದರ ಮೂಲಕ ಅವರು ಅನೇಕ ಸರ್ಕಾರಿ ಕಾರ್ಯಾಲಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಭಂಡಾರದ ರಚನೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಅದರ ವಿಸ್ತರಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಲಹೆಯನ್ನು ನೀಡುತ್ತಾ ಈ ನಮ್ಮ ನಾಡಿನ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿ ಮತ್ತು ಸಂಪ್ರದಾಯವನ್ನು ಹೆಮ್ಮೆಯಿಂದ ಅದರ ಕೀರ್ತಿ ಪತಾಕೆಯನ್ನು ಹಾರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರನ್ನು ನಾನು ಈ ವೇದಿಕೆಗೆ ಆಗಮಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಕೃಷಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೆಲವು ಮಾಹಿತಿಗಳನ್ನ ನಮ್ಮೊಂದಿಗೆ ಹಂಚಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವುದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ. ಶ್ರೀ ರಾಹುಲ್ ಗೋಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಅವರು.
ನಮಸ್ತೆ 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 ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ please excuse me because I will be speaking in English. I cannot speak Kannada. I speak English and Hindi, also Marathi. But tonight, this evening, I will speak in English. My sincere thanks to Gudiya Sambhrama for inviting me to speak about this important subject, and my sincere admiration also for the wonderful program and the initiative that has been taken by this group to bring together the idea of Prithvi, Bhu, Krishi, Gyan and Sanskriti. These are important parts of our civilization, and we do our best to keep them alive and keep the safeguarding concept also alive. Now, I would like to begin my short brief about food and agriculture with a few instances. As the introduction said, that I work with the Ministry of Environment, the Paryavaran Mantralaya, as we say. But a lot of my work has been in food and agriculture. When I grew up in Mumbai, I used to travel a lot to the north part of Maharashtra, which is a tribal region. And in the tribal region, in the north of Maharashtra, it's a district called Thane. And in Thane, if you are familiar with it, we used to have an ethnic tribe there called the Varli, who are very famous because of the wonderful cosmological drawings that they do. It's an expression of their understanding of Prakriti and of our role in it. And one of the very early impressions that I gained from my travels and my walks and my rambles through this region was that when you have a cut or a wound, and you are in a forest location, the first thing that the local will do is look for a web of a particular kind of spider, a web, and apply it, take part of that and apply it, and it forms a clotting agent very similar to what we have in our own blood, except that it works very fast and it allows you to continue until you can reach a spot where you can apply some other healing agent. And these formed some of the first understandings that I gained in my region of Bharat, which is Maharashtra, as to what is really traditional knowledge. Now I'll give you another instance. One of the places that we work in the Ministry of Environment is in the Himalaya region. So this is Jammu Kashmir, so both Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, and then the northeast, Sikkim, Arunachal, Meghalaya, etc. In Uttarakhand, in the hill districts of Almora, Pauri, Teri, Rudraprayag, Uttarkashi, there is a seed saving tradition, and the beauty of the seed saving tradition is to look at what they use to save the seed, who does the seed saving, and how the seeds are actually contained from one season to the next. The local timber, the local wood is used, it's selected and small pieces of it are turned into a little container. The seeds themselves are selected only by the elderly, experienced women of the village, by nobody else. They have the knowledge and they have the ability, the sense to judge which is the healthy and the disease-free material from which to select the seeds. The containers, when they are made, they are plastered with a mixture of cow dung, of mud, and of what we call gomutra. Everybody knows gomutra. This plaster is applied around the container. When the seeds are selected, they are carefully dried. Then they are placed in the container together with a mixture of ash. This is the ash that comes from not only the what we call the crop residue, but also from when we have a tawa and you make a roti on it, then the remaining carbon is also scraped off, and that is added to it. And a selection of leaves which are known for their medicinal property, for their anti-pest properties. So the pest repellent properties. All these are put together with the seeds. That entire mass is put into the container. It is tied up with cloth tightly. Once again it is sealed with a mixture of gobar, gomutra. And that entire container becomes essentially your seed bank for the village, which will assure its food supply for the next season. So why I am relating this is an essential part of what traditionally we will call agriculture, but what we call agriculture today as being food, as being some crop that is growing, neglects the cultural aspect. And the cultural aspect is the most important aspect, because this is from where we gain our identity. Wherever we are, whether we are in the Himalaya region, whether we are in the Deccan, whether we are in the Gangetic Plateau, whether we are in the East Coast or the Western Ghats. These are the traditions of saving, of understanding our relationship between the Bij and the Prakriti and our duty towards it, that in fact defines us as a community. So I'm extremely happy that this is actually taken up as the theme of the talks that are being held as part of the Gudiya Sambhrama. You will remember that about in 2005 there was a very severe cyclone which hit Bengal, Bangladesh and the Sundarban region. At that time there were some researchers from Jadavpur University, which is in West Bengal, and they traveled to the Sundarban, which is known for the Royal Bengal tiger, but it's also known for something else, and that something else is a kind of rice which is salt tolerant. It will grow in salty water as much as a normal rice grows anywhere in our part of Bharat in normal water. So this is a remarkable quality of that rice, and that's not only one kind of rice, it is a variety of rices. What they found is that after the cyclone, when the water hits, when the rain hits, the cyclone hits, salt water washes over the islands where the rice grows, and therefore the rice that grows in fresh water will no longer survive. What survives is the other kind of rice. And it is a very sad testament to the orientation of our traditional crop science. That means where I work with the government, with, for example, Indian Council of Agricultural Research, with more than 50 different institutions, that they will look for what is produced in the laboratories, but not what the farmers, what our kisans actually do every single day. Every single day, our kisans are scientists on their fields, on their plots, on their water. They are as observant as any scientist. They are the ones who document and log and exchange information, because their lives and their society's survival depends on it. So these are the ways in which we have integrated science and culture into our agricultural system, We don't even call it an agricultural system in the sense that it is called that in English or it is called that in any Western language, because we don't see it that way. So this is part of our sampradaya, our parampara. In the same way, in the mid-80s, 1980s, I went to live in Goa, which is what in Konkani we call Aparanta. You know it as Goa, but we know it as Aparanta because Aparanta is the old name. It dates back from the time of the so-called founding of Goa by Parshurama. In the mid-1980s, there were 22 varieties of rice. This is the fat red rice which used to grow in Goa and which could grow in salt water, just like on the other side of Bharat, as I just described to you, in the Sundarban. So this could grow in salt water, and that was not the only kind of rice. There were a variety of other rices which could grow in the upland regions, near the orchards, at the foot of the ghats also. These were what in the local language in Konkani we called ukde, which is a more traditional way. In Goa today, if you say cooked rice is called shit. So that's why you have the shit kodi. This is what existed in 1980 in my own memory. Today, if you go to Goa or anywhere on the Konkan, right from Sindhudurg and Malvan down to, let us say, Trivandrum or Kanyakumari even, if you ask for a traditional red rice which is salt tolerant, it is very likely that nobody will know what you are talking about. And the reason that nobody will know what you are talking about is that because we have grown used to the idea of rice being white and long grained. In terms of nutrition, this is as good as useless, as I'm sure most of you know. So in many ways, these are the symptoms of the loss of our cultural agro-biodiversity in India. And this is, I'm saying in India because the administrative view of agriculture has to do with the idea of India as we received it when the British administration left us. The traditions that remain and the traditions that are strong are the Krishi traditions of Bharat. And those are the ones which are outside the formal idea of crop science, outside the formal idea of administration of food and agriculture. And this I am telling you as an experienced person who understands the way a central government or a state government thinks about it. Unfortunately, the way it thinks about it is that food is grown by some people, it is collected by us as an agency, it is redistributed, part of it goes to the retail system, part of it goes to the public distribution system, and therefore the distance between you as the purchaser and of food and the grower of food, the cultivator, becomes more, it becomes a greater distance with every generation. This is what we are trying to avoid. We are trying to in fact revive it, we are trying to stop this distancing and to bring the cultivator closer to the actual user, the cooker of the grain, the household itself. When this happens, then we will regain our traditions, many of which are not lost, they are simply obscured. In the Konkan region, we used to have a system, again this was relating to our seasonal cycle of monsoon, where we had, and this relies on documentation that goes back about 1200 to 1400 years. It is what in other parts of Asia are called the fish rice farming system. What happens is that when the fresh water from the monsoon comes down the river channels, is collected in the ghats, flows towards the sea, it is impounded before it reaches the streams and the estuaries. It is impounded by sluice gates and allowed to flood the rice paddy, the rice plots. There fish is cultivated, and when the fish is cultivated, the natural fish cycle of eating the plants, of defecation in the pools and the plots, that fertilizes the rice paddy. When the monsoon season is over, those sluice gates are opened, and then the salt water comes in. The salt water comes in and flushes the system. Once again, the sluice gates are shut. Fresh water is brought in. The rice paddy is transplanted. And in this way, we have a symbiosis of fresh water, salt water, fish culture, rice culture, all in the same plot, depending on the season and depending on our understanding of how to use this. These were some of the wonderful methods that were given to us by our ancestors, and this is only one that I am describing to you in the Konkan region. In the same way, there are many others that we have come across, we have documented in different parts of our country, Bharat, which are a very different kind of atmosphere and a very different kind of understanding of the role of bij, of the role of rice, pulses, legumes, vegetables, fruit, compared to what you see around you in a city, where your understanding of food, the shape of it, the color of it, the smell of it, the manner in which it is presented to you is a manner which is completely divorced from the original relationship between the Kisan and the Samaj. We are not in a situation where we can say that there is a revival or an awakening. Some of the awakening comes in the form of what we today call organic food. But you must remember that before the so-called industrial revolution, everything that we grew in our country was naturally organic. Today we see a revival of interest in organic practices which are based on the seasons, which are based on seed saving, which are based on especially the indigenous, what we call the indigenous variety of seeds that we pass on from one generation to the other. I just want to give you an example of the kind of seed variety that we have. As one of our institutions, there is what is called the National Bureau of Plant Genetic Resources. This is what we call a gene bank for our country. And over the years, this has collected different varieties of our cereals, pulses, legumes. Legumes is what we call dals and the beans, etc. And the vegetables. Now it will astound you as to what we have in our gene bank. We have 1,05,000 varieties of rice, 1,05,000 varieties of rice, 33,000 varieties of wheat, 52,000 varieties of millet, 65,000 varieties of dals and beans, 58,000 varieties of oil seeds. Now this is an extraordinary sum of each of these varieties. And when we look, for example, at oil seeds alone, 58,000 varieties of oil seeds, so it will include, the till and the mustard, etc. We have, if you have been looking at the news nowadays, there has been a great controversy about genetically modified mustard. Now you would ask yourself that when we have this kind of variety of oil seeds, what is the need? What possibly can the need be for any genetically modified seed to be introduced new when we have this variety? My answer is there is none. And in the same way, we have such a variety that has been preserved for us through the generations of the essential foodstuffs that we need, not only for our consumption, but also for the consumption of the cattle, the livestock, the poultry, all the animals that depend on this. This is part of the gift of, not of our agricultural science, but of what we call our parampara and of our Sanskriti. There are a number of accounts of the ways in which food, that is essential cereals, essential legumes, plants, etc., form the pharmacopoeia our medicinal pharmacopoeia. That means our medicinal plants are included in the what we call the agricultural variety. As you know, there is a system of medicine which the West would call indigenous, with which we call Ayurveda. And the tradition of Ayurveda dates back to Vedic period. This is this is again something that is in danger from both within and without. From within, because our means of preserving our Ayurvedic pharmacopoeia is becoming more and more in danger, not only because the spots of biodiversity in India, for example the Western Ghats, are being encroached upon by urbanization and by industrialization, but also because paradoxically, when there is more demand for these products, there is also more exploitation of them. And this is now recognized by the central government and the state governments, and we are working very hard to ensure that in situ, that means in place conservation of the Ayurvedic pharmacopoeia is in fact going to be strengthened in the years to come. Naturally, this is not the duty or the remit of the government alone. The government does not have enough resources to do it, and therefore it falls upon the Samaj, it falls upon society to also contribute to it. We require for Ayurveda alone an amount of probably 640 to 650 different conservation zones. Okay, yeah. Corresponding to the needs of each of what we call our agroecological zones. And this, I'll just wrap up, this is something that we see as Ayurveda, as our medicinal heritage, but it is very closely tied in with our food heritage, what the West calls our traditional foodways. So in this sense, Prithvi, our duty as a Samaj, our duty to our Kisan brethren, they are all tied together as a cultural construct, not as science, not as retail, and not as a money transaction. And with this message, I would like to conclude this short presentation. Thank you.
ಶ್ರೀ ರಾಹುಲ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.